The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I think we can already start. It's 16:30. Let's see if we have the voices on. Looks like everything okay. Those of you who are online, can you maybe write on the chat box if you can't hear? I think we're all set. So just let me know if there's some problem with the voice or technical problem, so we'll try to fix it. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this business webinar. Today we will be talking about Vietnam and the potential of its market. And to start with a bit of presentation, I'm Sofia Sironen, hosting this webinar together with Hang Du, or Mrs. Scarlett. I myself am from Galimatias, and Hang.
Yes, my name is Hang. Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be here today and talk about Vietnam. I've been living in Finland for almost 10 years, and before that, I lived in Vietnam and worked for a company there. So I have quite much experience about the market. And at the moment, I'm running a website that promotes the Finland-Vietnam corporations.
Yes, and the reason why we organized this webinar was mainly to present the different business points related to market entry, sales, marketing, human resources, and this is actually the first business webinar during this autumn that we will organize together with our trainers and partners, and so this is a first time business webinar, and I hope that this will be interesting for you. And also I have to mention that for after this webinar, I will of course send you all these slides, but of course they are a bit of shorter version. So if you want to take some notes during the presentation, so please do so. You will have probably more information from this discussion. And if any questions during the webinar, so you can always send them via the questions chat box and after the session. So maybe we have time to go through with the answers.
Yeah, so as you know, like nowadays companies want to grow and want to go globally, but deciding when to go global is a very tough call for own companies. Nowadays, companies they want to expand the business in China, in Vietnam, and in India. They are all like very potential emerging markets for global companies. However, in order to be doing successfully your business in those markets, you have to be fully prepared. You have to know about the markets, what you have to do and what you have to prepare to be successful. So that's why we are here today for discussing about the potentialities of Vietnam market and for the company who want to expand their business in Vietnam.
So what do you think from the point of view of Finnish companies? So which are the potential industries or for outsourcing trade or other business areas?
Yeah, since now I'm doing like promoting business for Vietnam and Finland, so I have been like doing like research and like a lot of work for that. So to me, like there are many opportunities for Finnish companies to do business in Vietnam. The most potential area can be like about, for example, waste to energy and bioenergies. This is like very great business opportunity for Finnish companies because in Vietnam, we know that the Finnish companies they have expertise about these areas. So it's very well known in Vietnam, and we want to import those technology from Finland. So so the Finnish companies you are recommended to target in this flowing. So we have a list of Vietnamese clients that you can target. For example, the waste to energy management companies or environment and urban work companies. Also industrial factories that generate organic solid waste and side streams. And also you can also work with like environmental consulting companies in Vietnam. To do
Yes,
so.
I think Finnish companies they have quite a lot of expertise and knowledge in these fields. So definitely
Yes.
it is a potential to be like investigating at least what are the options. So tell me, if a company does want to enter Vietnam, so what does they have to do to find the right partners, or maybe directly the buyers?
Yeah, but I want to mention also other industry that is also potential for Finnish companies. For example, wastewater treatment plant is also very potential because in Vietnam we have planned to build like 14 new wastewater treatment plants by the year 2020. So this is like very great possibilities for Finnish companies. And because the Finland have very good reputation in the water industry.
Absolutely,
So, yes.
absolutely.
And the next industry can be in science, technology, and innovations. As many Finnish company who knows about Vietnam market, I think they may already know about the IPP program, the Innovation Partnership Program that is started by the Finnish government and the Vietnamese government that support for the Finnish company and Vietnamese companies. And the IPP phase 2 is now ongoing, already ongoing in Vietnam with the participations of Finnish companies and also Vietnamese experts who will be helping the Finnish companies to do their business in Vietnam. So you get a lot of support from the government for to this. Also about energy and clean tech and education, like
Absolutely.
Yes, and tourism. I personally am working now on education and tourism project.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, these are very good fields as well. So once we have a company that is interested in entering Vietnam, and they are mainly on the private sector. So what do they have to do to find the right partners and buyers? So like where do they start their networking or search?
Yeah, there are several ways to find your business partner or buyers in Vietnam. For example, in Finland, you can always register at the FinPro or Fin Partnership or Team Finland. They have a team to support you about this.
Absolutely.
But also in Vietnam, you can go to the website of our Vietnamese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, vcci.com.vn, where you can post your own information to look for partners. And also the Vietnamese companies are also very active in that website to find for potential partners. And also they posted their own information there. You can find from there also. Or you can hire some people who have good knowledge about the market. Or you can go with the consulting companies. There are a lot of consulting companies nowadays in Vietnam. They can help you with entering the market.
And what do you think about LinkedIn? Because it's quite popular nowadays to go and search for partners. So do Vietnamese use LinkedIn actively, and also like are there also business directories or other useful channels to find these partners?
Yes, I think that the Vietnamese companies and also people or business, they are very active on LinkedIn. So you can always find information from there. And also for about the business directories, we still use that, and we still use that for looking for new customer. So you can also use that as a reference. But in order to have good partners, you need to do more research on that. You have to visit them You have to work with them, check their credits, the company's business performance, and report to know better before you enter any partnering with any companies in Vietnam. So, and also you can go to networking event, business event, exhibition, trade fairs that are organized very often in Vietnam. That's very good place to find your buyers and business partners.
Yeah, I actually heard that now at the end of October there will be this Saigon Innovation Week.
Yes.
Some of the Finnish companies are attending. The information I got. Maybe it's more for startup companies, but it might be interesting for other areas also. So maybe it's worth checking Saigon Innovation Week.
Yes.
And do a follow up. What are the outcomes from those events?
Yeah, last month I remember we have also Startup Week in Saigon. So they said that in future Vietnam can become like startup hubs up to Finland. So
yes, interesting.
The business is growing very strongly there. Yeah.
Yes. So then the next thing to consider is dealing with the Vietnamese authorities, and why not also companies, but as many of these companies are state-owned. So what are the advices you would give to how to deal with these state-owned?
Yeah, I think
authorities?
for company, especially foreign companies who've never been in Vietnam, this can be first very difficult because they don't know how they work there. But the advice from me for you is that dealing with Vietnamese governmental authorities and companies normally it takes time and it requires your patience. So and sometimes it takes a lot of paperwork. So the advice you find people who knows well the procedures and do that. Yeah, because sometimes, for example, you need to buy some gift or present. They call it to hear the oil, so it makes things work faster and better.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is there a difference when you deal with companies that when you establish a new business? So are there different things to be cautious about?
I mentioned earlier that you should check the credit, the company performance and business and report, like financial reports, everything very carefully because you want to partner with them. But there are also some website in Vietnam created by the government where you can check also credit of the company. For example, the website creditinfo.ogr.vn or vietcredit.com. So you can go there and check the credit of the companies.
Right. So what once I start doing business in Vietnam, so what are the things that one has to remember, that how to deal with Vietnamese business people in general?
Well, yeah, I think it takes for example, a day if you want to talk in details about how to do business or what is the business culture in Vietnam. But in general, I can just brief something for example, about greetings. So in Vietnam, we only shake hands. We don't hug or we don't bow like in Japan they do. And when you introduce yourself to a group, so remember address yourself to the older people first. So it's very important. Yes, and the second thing is about the Vietnamese. The Vietnamese business relationship is very socializing. So not like in the Western country where you respect the privacy and personal information. But in Vietnam, the more you tell about yourself and your personal life, the more people trust you and become, want to do business with you. So
That's
I
very
advise you
interesting.
share more about yourself when you're in
That's
Vietnam.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, and what I've understood that seniority is also very important, that you have to remember that kind of take course. I mean, be prepared to greet first the highest.
Yeah. That is very important, especially when you work with the governmental organizations. So you have to when you're giving your business card or brochure, you make sure that you give to the most senior person or you greet the most senior person first. So yeah.
Yeah, and but just like a small detail about the working hours. So is it just like a regular like what we have here in Finland from 8 to 4 or 9?
Yeah,
to
most of the company
5?
we work from Monday to Friday, but some companies they work also on Saturdays, but Sunday is of course
Yes.
holiday. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we work from 8 o'clock until 5 in the afternoon, and 1 hour lunch break. So I guess we work more than in Finland, right?
Right, exactly.
Longer time.
Right. Maybe a few questions about like employing people once we have a Finnish company that wants to settle down in Vietnam. So of course they will need local employees as well. Is it how do you hire employees? Where do you find? I mean, what are the practices to hire?
Well, normally the company will post the advertisement on some website, or you hire from consulting companies like hunting company. They will do that for you. That's very popular nowadays. Or you can also post it on newspaper, and people can read from newspaper. And or you post on your own website. Yeah, that's very popular. Yeah.
Yes, and then on the slide we put some important points about what Vietnamese employees appreciate in an employer. I guess that these are very universal.
Yeah.
That kind of like you have to be encouraging and give feedback, and
Yes.
so I think that these are very
Common things.
Yes, that
yes.
that the Finnish company
Like good company culture and working environment. Also like paying attention to growing talents and
Yes.
promotion.
that maybe
Yes.
like career plans are
Yes.
important as well. So maybe a few things about marketing, because I guess that always when you sell, when you do the sales, you also have to do marketing. So do Vietnamese companies, do they have web pages in English versions, or like how do they use marketing? Is it with social media, or is it the traditional TV, radio, newspaper? What are the trends now in the marketing area?
I think the traditional marketing channel is still in use, like in the radio, on TVs. But nowadays, the online marketing is very strong, is growing very strongly. But not all the Vietnamese companies they have the websites in English. It depends on their customers. So if they are like international, then they will have their English website. But it just for like a domestic customer, then they have only in Vietnamese. Yeah.
Yes. A bit of the language. I mean, of course, English starts to be widely spoken,
Yeah.
especially in high-level management and among young people. But is it still? What do you think about like learning a little bit the Vietnamese language? So, is it? I think it's always good that you know a little bit of the local.
I think
like-
about 10 years ago, if you talk about English in Vietnam, then it can be a barrier to foreign companies. But nowadays, well, I think most of people, they can speak English. Maybe not fluently or not grammatically correct, but you can understand what they say and they understand what you say. But you don't need to speak Vietnamese fluently in order to survive in Vietnam. But maybe the advice is you know a little bit about Vietnamese, so you can integrate into the culture easier. I myself teach Vietnamese sometimes. Every 3 years, I teach the Vietnamese for the officer of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Finland, because they send people to work in the embassy. So I work with them and I provide them with the Vietnamese language training and also some about the culture, so they know before they go there.
Yes.
That's one way good to know something before you go.
Absolutely, because language is also always tied to the culture as well, and the more you kind of can integrate to the culture via the language, the better you understand how to deal with the people.
Yeah.
So definitely, I mean, this 20 minutes is gone.
Yeah.
We have used our time, but of course, I mean, these are some tight themes and topics that we could discuss longer, of course. So the idea is mainly just to give an idea what we do here in Galimatias, what we do together with you, Hang, and also like usually we try to tailor-made these international trainings for the company in question, because there you have to consider the industry they are in,
Yes.
the depth of the entry they want to make in Vietnam, and so on. So of course we cannot cover everything now, but absolutely feel free to send some questions, or later on some emails. We will answer them. And also we will continue these business webinars. Now I have on the written in Finnish here that the next webinar will be about Russia and Russian speaking countries. That will be the 11th of November. But absolutely feel free to be in touch with us, and maybe we can help you with Vietnam and so on. And so
Yes.
I have to thank you very much, Scarlett,
Thank you.
for all these interesting points that we have brought out. And I'm not quite sure, do we have some questions from the attendees that we need to cover at this stage? I think that we were quite efficient in covering
Yeah.
everything, no questions at all. But
Yeah,
as said,
I just to add that if you want more information about Vietnam, the industry and the opportunities, then like also about the legal everything, that you can contact Galimatias, and
Yes,
you
and-
also have the blog, right? And or you can go to my website bcvietnam.com and
yes,
send requests or
yes, and I
questions.
know that there has been recently published a book. It's although in English, but it's about Vietnam. So if you're interested in this book, I can send you the references.
Yes.
And so there, of course, there's plenty of material existing, but it's just a matter of time, how you want to use your time for this gathering this information. But I think that we will just say thank you for attending and have a nice evening, and hope to have you on board again next time.
Yes, and hope that you will grow your business in Vietnam.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.